So what is it? The 4th of July here on the Isle of Wight, in Ventnor. This is Ventnor Bay down there. Publication day for two books I've had on my pre-order for ages. There's Ventnor Downs up there, beautiful. I've had on pre-order for ages. So just a quick heads up of the two books. Let's go and have a look at them. I'm on the terrace of the Royal Hotel, which is a lovely public kind of bit of open space here in Ventnor where you can sit and do some wonderful kind of visible migration watching when there are actually migrants going through, which there aren't at this time of year, 4th of July. Up there especially, a raptors kind of thermal up over Ventnor Downs, and this is a great kind of watch point just here on these little seats. Get a good view over there, over the sea, and also up on Ventnor Downs. But anyway, these books, let's go up there and have a look. So yeah, like I say, a couple of books come out today, arrived. So the first, let's sit down here. The first one is Reflections by Mr. Mark Avery, published by the wonderful Pelagic Publishing. If I was to choose a publisher to publish me books, I would certainly go with Pelagic because they're great. And Mark Avery is a really good commentator on biodiversity conservation in the UK in particular. Back in the day when I was at the RSPB, Mark was initially director of CONSCI, the Conservation Science team within the RSPB, and then became conservation director at the RSPB before going independent. And this, not read it yet, so it's just a heads up that published today, only arrived via Amazon, the wonderful Amazon, an hour ago, so I haven't had a chance to look at it yet. But it appears to be a commentary on the state of wildlife conservation in the UK by somebody who's basically been in the trenches of wildlife conservation in the UK for several decades at the RSPB before going independent, and started out, Mark, I think, as a research biologist at the RSPB, and obviously has a PhD in ecology. So that's going to be a really fascinating read, I think. Reflections by Dr. Mark Avery. So looking forward to reading that. I will do a review once I've read it. There is a link to this and the next book in the description below. I'll tell you whether I'll recommend it in a few weeks after I've absorbed it. And the second one is this one, Back from the Collapse, which is about the great kind of grassland prairie areas in North America by Curtis Fries. About the American prairie and the restoration of Great Plains wildlife. So a book all about one of the great kind of naturally open grassland systems on the planet, and obviously supports the American bison. And I would assume covers the American Prairie Reserve, which is basically a big kind of land trust conservation initiative going on in the Great Plains of America. And I think there's great potential to emulate what's being done in the plains with the American Prairie Reserve in the UK. So creating big natural areas through kind of partnerships between community land trusts, statutory land ownership, and other forms of private land acquisition, and also farmers working together collaboratively to build scale in terms of building up large reserve networks, similar in scale, I think, to, say, the New Forest or Thetford and the Breckland kind of system. So yeah, two really exciting books that I'm looking forward to reading. Back from the Collapse by Curtis Fries, and Reflections by Mark Avery. As I say, there are links to both of those in the description below. And I'm going to go for a coffee now because it's quite humid up here out of the breeze. It's been very windy here on the south coast of the Isle of Wight. Unusually breezy, and the invertebrates have taken a bit of a battering, I think, but they are beginning to emerge now. The weather's calming down a bit, and I think it's going to warm up a bit over the next couple of weeks, but we shall see. But anyway, yeah, check those books out. There is a link below which does go to Amazon. You could also go to the publishers' websites, this one being Pelagic Publishing, by direct from the publisher, and this one published by University of Nebraska Press. But if you just want to check them out, follow the links in the description below. Right, time for a coffee.